Well, welcome everybody, and we have a wonderful guest who is really a huge part of our LA Roadrunner family, and she does like all of the stuff behind the scenes. And I get credit for a lot of this. She does the newsletter. She does registration problems. Today she was handling someone's timed problem at the Santa Monica Classic from our group, all sorts of stuff, on and on and on and on, emails, you name it, information, where to go. Everybody, Lucy Murray, I know you're all on mute, but give Lucy a big applause anyway. And here she is. We're being recorded.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name's Lucy Murray, and I'm the program coordinator for the Los Angeles Roadrunners. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Uh, Forgive my moment of sort of clunkiness as I do this. Um, but hopefully you guys can all see my screen.
Hmm.
Is that working?
There you
Okay,
go.
great.
Now we can see it.
Phenomenal. So, hi everyone. I am delighted to be here. Usually, David organizes these Thursday night coach chats, but I asked if I could pop in today and just talk about the LARR membership and kind of the nuts and bolts behind it, because I feel like I get a lot of questions. As David said, I am sort of in the back end. I'm in the background pulling the strings and doing things. And so I get a lot of questions about membership. And I just wanted to use this opportunity to welcome you all and answer questions. So I'm going to go through a presentation here. As I go through, please feel free to put questions in the chat. I am going to cover quite a few things, but at the end of it, we'll have some time for questions. So um, let's get started. So welcome to your LARR membership. As I said, I'm Lucy Murray. I'm the program coordinator. This is me on race day. I always look a little crazy. I used to love running the LA Marathon. It was my favorite race. It's the only thing that's a bit of a bummer about my job now is I don't get to run it. I get to run around it. Um, but I do remember back in the day of the big rain in 2011 and all sorts of LA marathon lore. But now I'm on the inside. As I said, I oversee the LA Roadrunners. I do a lot of our communications, program management. I work with our sponsors. I work with registration, and I organize the meetups. I also, just for background, I work with our ambassador team for the LA Marathon, our Run Club Partner Program. I work with our legacies who've done every single marathon since the beginning. I work with the Party Pacer program and our youth program, so Students Run LA, 26 Mile and the Kids Runs. And then I also work with some of the communities that we run through. So I work with the Chambers of Commerce and some of the city organizations that let us run through their fine cities. So here we are. The big question, what is the LA Roadrunners? And I know that there's several of you on here who know what it is. But maybe there's some new things in here, and I think there are some new things in here. So hopefully everyone will take away a few bits and pieces along the way. But basically, our tagline, we are the official training program of the Los Angeles Marathon. This year is LA 40, so that means it is our 40th running. And even though our first year was 1986, and it feels like the math doesn't work, it does actually work because 1986 was year one, not year zero. So this is our 40th running. The LA Roadrunners is a part of the McCourt Foundation. So we are a program that is wrapped up in the McCourt Foundation. What's nice about that is that means that we have access to sort of insider groups and some special access that other run clubs just don't have. And I think that's what really sets our program apart. It's a 26-week program. Obviously, it's starting right now. This is orientation week, but we officially kick off next weekend, September 21st and 22nd. We have in-person meetings in 3 locations that I'll talk about in a moment. When David and I started, there was 1 location, and now there's 3, thanks to his just wanting to spread out throughout LA. Um, Obviously, our head coach is David Levine. He's just a phenomenal staple of the LA running community, and he and I knew each other well before working together with the LA Roadrunners when we both started together in 2021. He oversees 75 pace leaders across our 3 locations. We have run groups, walk groups, and run walk. So there really is something for every pace because we have groups that start, our fastest group is around 3 hours, and we go all the way to 7 hours. So it's a really broad program that has a place for really everybody. That's just a really special part of our groups. We have over 100 people in Griffith Park, 100 people, expecting over 100 people in Encino, and I think Santa Monica's 200 or 300 people easily. So you definitely will find people to train with. Our pace leaders also become the official pacers of the Rose Bowl Half Marathon, which is in January, and the LA Marathon in March. So what's really nice is they have been training with you, and then they are there on race day to lead you to the finish line. As I said, because we're part of the McCourt Foundation, we have some pretty exclusive member benefits. Our members will have access to the Rose Bowl locker room on race day for the Rose Bowl Half Marathon. That is really, really exciting because in January, the Rose Bowl is like 50 degrees colder than anywhere else in LA. So that's just a really, I kid, but it really is cold there. It's got its own little microclimate. So having indoor access to locker rooms and concrete bathrooms, which are a big, big deal, is a really nice perk, and one that's limited only to our group, and also Pasadena Pacers has that as well. We have a special meetup location in Dodger Stadium at the LA Marathon. So again, we have this sort of special access place. It's not sort of in this main start line festival area. We have a special access area with concrete bathrooms again, because those are really important. And then all of our members get access to and placement in seated Corral B. So if you've never done the LA Marathon before, we have our first 5 corrals are what we call seated corrals, and you have to qualify with a certain time to be in those corrals. Otherwise, you're in what's called the open corral, which is kind of a free-for-all. So those first corrals are kind of like a little insider spot. All of our members get access to Corral B. Now, that doesn't mean you should be in Corral B because that's really a faster group. But what's nice is you get Corral B or slower. So you can be in Corral B, C, D, or E. The only one you can't go into is Corral A unless you are in that 3-hour pace group and you are going to be able to go finish in 3 hours. So those are on special cases. So if you're in that 3-hour group, your pace leader and David will let me know, and we'll put you into Corral A. So those are some nice perks. And then, of course, because of our affiliation, again, with the McCourt Foundation, we have access to product samples of the things that you'll find on course. So Electrolyte comes out. We have Over Easy bars, Arrowhead water, and several other sponsors are really excited about bringing out product to our LA Roadrunners. So we're actually just partnered with Optimum Nutrition that's going to be bringing protein shakes to some of our meetups. So that's kind of exciting. So anytime we bring in a new sponsor, we see how we can work with them to get them their products to the LA Roadrunners. As I said, we have 3 locations. Santa Monica is sort of the flagship location. Santa Monica meets on Saturday mornings. All of our groups meet at 7 a.m. So that's the only thing you need to remember in the morning, 7 a.m. Santa Monica is 7 a.m. And we currently meet at what we call the Totem Pole. That's on Ocean Avenue, just around San Vicente. There's a big totem pole. You can see it on that slide. There's parking in the residential areas for free. There is metered parking, but I think it's fairly limited. So on those mornings where you have longer runs, you may or may not be able to park there, but certainly plenty of residential parking keep in mind as it fills up, as it gets later in the morning, that parking fills up. So you're going to have to walk a little bit further. So just keep that in mind, but it is free parking. Griffith Park was new last year. That's also Saturdays at 7 a.m. And that meets at what we call Shane's Inspiration Playground. If you're familiar with Griffith Park, it's an accessible playground right near the merry-go-round. And so there's a great big parking lot right there, the merry-go-round parking lot. There is a little parking lot nearby, but that lot 2 or 3 in the merry-go-round parking lot is excellent. And you'll get right there. There's plenty of parking. And by the way, there's bathrooms in both of these locations. There's public bathrooms. So they are parks. So just keep in mind that, you might have to deal with, some like only a few stalls, but there are bathrooms and picnic tables. So Griffith Park is on Saturdays, 7 a.m. It's a beautiful, beautiful park. If you've never been to Griffith Park, it's just a stunning location with plenty of trails and roads. And then our new location this year is Balboa Park in Encino, not San Diego. Do not go to San Diego. Balboa Park is on Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. And there's a golf course. I mean, there's a lot of golf courses. There's a driving range off Burbank Boulevard, just near between Havenhurst and Balboa. Yeah, and there's a free parking there. You sort of wind in, and we'll have all of our newsletters when we send them out. We'll have location maps to all of these, and they are on the website, so you can go onto the Google map. But just so you know, it's in that parking lot. We'll be at the back of the parking lot as opposed to near the clubhouse. We don't want to take up the golfers parking. But just so you know, there is a free parking, I mean, excuse me, a bathroom in that clubhouse. So you could always stop there and then walk over or drive over. So that's Sundays at 7 a.m. And then finally, sort of our another location, it's not really on that main radar, but we do have a track night on Wednesday night. We join in with the LA Running Club and several other clubs for their track night. Coach David's there Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. at Santa Monica High School track. So we will officially launch the track, like our involvement in track, not this coming weekend, not this coming Wednesday, but the following. So after we kick off, I believe it's September 25th, we will have our first track night. So the thing is to keep in mind, LA Running Club is at the track all year round, but LA Roadrunners has access to it for the 6 months that we're in session. So if you are training at the track off season, sort of March through now, you do need to pay LA to join LA Running Club. But this time of year, September to March, you're fine as an LARR member to use to go to the track workouts at no cost. One of the other perks of membership is we have our member t-shirts, and I'm wearing mine tonight. Some of you picked up at the Santa Monica Classic. This is what we call atomic blue. So we've gone away from the last 2 years, we had neon yellow, which we loved because you were so visible. But this year we're doing an atomic blue. We just have the t-shirts for now, and we give our members a t-shirt. It's a tech fabric t-shirt from ASICS. And then we also have race singlets. So that's a gender specific cut for the race singlet, but we won't have those until a little bit later in the season, probably closer to January. But the nice thing is you'll have a nice brand new race singlet in time for race day. Maybe hopefully before Rose Bowl half, but definitely well before LA Marathon. So you have time to wear it and make sure that there's no spots that create hot spots. We hope you'll wear it. Or any LARR shirt to training. It's not required. It's not a team uniform. You don't have to wear it in order to be in the club. And if you want to customize it, you want to hem it, you want to cut off the sleeves or cut the neckline, have at it. Have some fun with it. It's not, it's not regulation uniform. We want you to be comfortable. Yeah, and if you want to wear it, great. It does help David know, or any of the coaches and pace leaders know, who is part of LA Roadrunners with such big groups. It is nice to be able to see really quickly who's with our group, so we don't yell at somebody who we think is in our group and maybe going the wrong way. We know that they're an LA Roadrunner. We will have shirts to pick up at every weekend training through September. So this weekend, next weekend, and then the 27th, 28th, or is it? Yeah, 27th, 28th. After September, we will only have them at special events and meetups. So hopefully you can pick them up in September. But like I said, we usually have them about once a month at some of the special events that we hold. Speaking of meetups, we do 2 big fun meetups a year. And again, this is our relationship with the McCourt Foundation. We have access to Dodger Stadium's parking lot where the start line is of the LA Marathon. And so we do 2 special meetups there. All of our groups meet there. We also invite some of our local run clubs, our charity partners, to come out and have a little mini race day. It's free. We'll do the first one on December 14th, which is a Saturday. That is between 6 and 7 miles. We do the LA 5K loop twice. It's fully supported. We have a water station. We have bathrooms. We also have our sponsors come out. We have ASICS does shoe demos. Electrolyte comes out. Optimum Nutrition will be there. We have a recovery zone with physical therapists from Evolution PT, massage therapists from LA Sports Massage. So it's really fantastic. It's and then we'll do the shirt distribution. Again, free parking. And it's just a super fun morning. We'll do that on December 14th. And then we have a second one on Saturday, March 1st. We do a 9-mile route that day that includes the first 6 miles of the LA Marathon. So it's a really great way to preview those first 6 miles, which I think David will tell you are the most important as far as strategic planning in pacing the LA Marathon. So this is a great opportunity to go through. We don't close off any roads. We don't have any street closures, but our pace leaders are there and they're guiding you through. And it's just a super fun day. So, you know, instead of trying to remember all this, you know, how do we tell you that all these things are coming? Because I know that there's a lot of stuff that comes your way. So how you find out about all these things, the most important thing is the weekly newsletter. David and I work on that every week. It comes out every Tuesday. It'll include route maps for the runs that we're doing. It'll include a tip from David. Usually we set sort of the theme for the week. That might be about nutrition. It might be about endurance. It might be about sodium or electrolytes. There's a lot of different topics that David has, and he is a wealth of knowledge. And so he uses a little bit of that newsletter to talk about that topic. But again, we use that to talk about the routes that are coming up, the mileage that's coming up. Any other important announcements, we'll let you know if there's a meetup coming, or like, for example, this last newsletter included some information about the open house that we're having. So we try to get as much information in there without totally overwhelming you. We also use, so that's sort of a key. If you're not getting that newsletter, let me know, because sometimes you may have unsubscribed from a mailing list, and so it won't let me put you on there without going in individually. So just let me know if you're not receiving the newsletter. Another thing to do is make sure that LARR at McCourtFoundation.org is in your contacts, because otherwise it will send that newsletter to spam. But yeah, reach out to me if you're not getting it. We also communicate through social media, so Instagram and Facebook. We have public pages, and then we also have a private LARR group page on Facebook that is a little bit more conversational. So the stuff on Facebook and Instagram, the public pages, are a little bit broader messaging, but within that group, that's a great place to ask questions, to, say, see what other people are doing. We do try to keep it LARR focused. So, if there's anything training or LA Marathon related, that's really the place to put those questions or comment or watch for news releases that come out. We also have plenty of information on our website. The thing with our website is it's fairly static. It's not really, you don't log into it to find out information. It's not going to tell you where our next meeting is. It's really more, there are some special events. We also have some links to our locations. We have our training plans on there. We have some articles, but it's pretty static information. Again, that ongoing information is coming through the newsletter and social media. And then David organizes these online chats every Thursday. He'll talk about a topic that's relevant to that week. And then he usually spends a lot of time on Q&A. And, it's a good time to make any announcements as well. So that's a great time to check in and just listen in. Even if you're just driving home from somewhere, just listen in and, you might gather some information. David also, and the coaches will make announcements at the meetups. Usually it's kind of frenetic in the morning, but he will make some announcements. So when you arrive there, just listen in, and if there's anything really pressing, he'll mention it there. And then your pace leader. Your pace leader is an enormous resource, and each pace leader will let you know how they want you to contact them, whether that's a Facebook group or a chat group or some other way. But your pace leader will really be an amazing resource for you because they're tuned in to David's conversations and my conversations. They know what's happening. They know enough about the LA Marathon to know what you need to be aware of. And so they're just an amazing resource. So I highly recommend you, once you get to know your pace leader, just find out how they would like you to, how they'd like to communicate with you. Just going back to that website and the training resources page, this is just a slide about how to get to that page. And on that page, you'll find our training plans, some articles that we have posted, and some training FAQs. And basically, to get onto that page, you can go to larr.lamarathon.com. That'll take you onto the main LA Roadrunners page. And then there's a button for training resources. That's your easiest way to get on there. There is a slightly longer version. You're on the LA Marathon website. You go to get involved, then LA Roadrunners, and then the training resources page. So you decide long version or short version, bookmark the page, and then you don't have to worry about it again. So then I wanted to talk about what to expect at a workout. For those of you who've never been to an LARR workout before, you might be wondering what the heck is going to happen. I know where to go. I know what distance we're doing. What the heck do I do? So this is just my quick overview. And as you've gone a few times, and especially over the orientation, you'll get a better sense of how it works. So what to expect, first of all, what to wear. Comfortable athletic clothes and shoes. You want to have proper running shoes. That's really important. If you still are wearing a 5-year-old pair of Converse to run in, it's time to head to your local running store. You want to make sure you have a good supportive pair of shoes. And it's really, if you've not been a runner, it's really a good idea to go to a specialty running store. There are several throughout LA. Instead of going online and just going, oh, those look pretty, because you want to wear them. You want to see how it feels, and ask the staff for help. And then, bring your hat, sunglasses, sun protection, whatever the weather is going to give you. I'll tell you, in the winter, it can get rainy and cold. And right now it's beautiful. Last weekend, not so much. As I said, all of the workouts start at 7 a.m. So you want to arrive with plenty of time to park, walk over, hit those concrete bathrooms, make sure you have enough time without being stressed out. You'll meet up with your pace leader. And if in the beginning, this first few weeks, you might not be sure, don't worry, we'll get you with the right people. Coach will do some announcements in Santa Monica that and Balboa. That'll be David. In Griffith Park, that will be Adele or Janie or me. There'll be some announcements. They might talk about the route a little bit, and then some warm-ups. And then all the groups will launch, and it's quite a thing of beauty. All these pace leaders have these signs with these red signs that you can see on my slide. And that's actually how you find them. You look for those signs. And the coach will launch each group with the fastest first, and everybody heads out onto the path at the same time. Don't go out with the first group. Make sure you're with your pace leader because they're going the pace that you need to go. And don't worry, that we do send you that map in the newsletter. So it's a good idea to download it into your phone. David loves Komoot. We're going to try to put more maps into Strava. So either way, just so you know where you're going, what it's kind of going to look like, but your pace leader will also know the route too. And then finally, when you're done, you'll finish and stretch with your pace group. Everybody comes in at different times because everyone's going at different paces. So really, there's not one big stretch group. Everyone will stretch with their individual group. And usually there's some water set up. There might be some snacks. Griffith Park usually does a potluck of some sort and scale. And then when we have longer workouts, we'll have bananas or over easy bars, things like that. But that's usually when we get into those higher mileage. So, if you find that you're getting really hungry after a workout, just bring a snack for the end. But we will have plenty of water. And speaking of water, David knows this is my big thing. We will have opportunities to stop for water along the routes, especially for the longer ones. We will have water, and especially Santa Monica will have water tables. Those cups, yes, they're plentiful and we have them, but they're very wasteful if you think about taking 2 sips of water and then it gets thrown in the trash. So if you are able to bring a water bottle to carry or a hydro pack to wear, we will give you a collapsible cup that you can see a picture of it down there at the bottom. It says LA Marathon, that you can carry with you and fill up when you get to a water station from a bottle. It just helps save cups, and it just kind of breaks my heart a little bit to watch all those cups just get thrown out. And also poor David has to fill a lot of cups. So I'm trying to save his time, even though he's happy to do it, but I'd like to save some of his time from all those cups and then cleaning them up. So if you are, I just wanted to encourage everybody to find some kind of hydration system to carry with them. New this year, so this is kind of exciting. We are launching a digital training program, and all of our LA Roadrunners members who've signed up and paid for the program will have access to this for free. Basically, all of the training programs that David's created that are currently PDFs will be put into an app on your phone. And so once it's ready, you will be able to access your the training program, the training plan, level 1 through 5, on your phone instead of downloading a PDF. It's really exciting. We also have some opportunities for chat groups within the app. We will also, once a week, we haven't quite decided what date, but once a week there will be a live workout that will be Coach David or one of their coaches. Actually, you put your AirPod in your ear, carry your phone with you, and you can hear a workout. David telling you to speed up or slow down or go this way or that way. And it's really exciting. The really cool feature of this technology is you can unmute your microphone and you can say hello to the group. So it's really interactive. If you can't make it for the live one, we will record it and it'll be available for, I'm not sure how long it's available for download, but then once you're ready to do it, you can just listen in the next day and do that workout. So kind of an exciting new feature that we will have ready in early November. So just something to keep in mind that that is coming. So it's actually a really exciting new opportunity that allows us also to reach out across outside of LA because people who are not local can download it for $35. So it's a pretty low cost, and they'll get that all of those features as well. Okay, I'm coming to an end of my slides, but I got a few more things to say. We have a couple of important dates. Obviously, this weekend are our in-person orientations. So we'll have orientations at each of our locations. I apologize, those who got the newsletter. For some reason, Balboa Park's information got bumped out of there. We are having meetups in each location, orientations in each location. So Saturday, Santa Monica and Griffith Park, Sunday, Balboa Park, all at 7 a.m. All of them will do 2 miles, a 2-mile run. There'll be time for announcements. We'll have shirt pickup. I believe the more advanced groups are doing 5 or 6 miles. I'll let David confirm that. 5 miles. Thank you, David. But most people will be doing 2 miles. So this is just a great way to see the location. Don't stress if you're running late. It's not the end of the world if you don't have good shoes yet. This is just an opportunity to come, see the location, get your shirt, figure out parking, figure out, what it all looks like, maybe meet your pace leader, talk to David, hear the announcements, and just kind of get a sense of it, because the following weekend is the big kickoff. That said, Monday, if you download those training plans, that's the first day of training. And I believe most of them are like 30 to 45-minute runs. So it's a pretty, like little baby steps to start. But that first day on the training plans is the 16th on Monday. Don't worry if you get a late start to those training plans. It's okay. We build up pretty slowly. We've got 6 months to get to the marathon. We're okay. And like I said, the next weekend, the 21st and 22nd, are the first official days of LARR. So those days will be 3 miles for most groups and 6 miles for the more advanced groups. Another piece is on another fun thing. I knew at some point the dog would bark. On September 21st, we're having an open house at the LA Marathon warehouse near Dodger Stadium. Everybody's invited. It's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that was in the newsletter. Everyone, you don't need to RSVP, although it helps. Feel free to come. You can see inside the warehouse. It's kind of a cool thing to see the inside of, what 26.2 miles looks like when you condense it into one big room. And we'll have some freebies, some shirts, old shirts, some other giveaways, some snacks, things like that. You can meet the staff behind the LA Marathon. If you've ever wondered who's setting up all those water stations and getting permits and everything, or ask questions, that's the time to do it. It's really fun. Another date to note is that September 30th is the LARR price increase. So if you want to make sure you pay $125, you need to pay before September 30th. It's going up to $150. Excuse me one second. Other dates, as I mentioned, December 14th, and there's plenty of other things going on. These are just some key dates. So December 14th is that LARR meetup at Dodger Stadium. January 19th is the Rose Bowl Half Marathon. You don't have to do it as part of LARR, but it's kind of woven into our training, so we'd love to have you do it. There's also a 5K. February 16th, SRLA, Students Run LA, which is the middle and high school program that trains for the LA Marathon, has a friendship run at Hanson Dam. And our pace leaders go out to that and run with them. It's an 18-miler. It sort of lines up with our training. And so we encourage LARR, if you want to go and help out there or cheer them on, it's a really fun day. So I just put that in there. March 1st is the other LARR meetup at Dodger Stadium. And then, of course, March 16th is the LA Marathon, the big day, the big party. Um, Two more things. So I do want to just go quickly over this code of conduct. This is something that our PACE leaders and our members sign when you signed up. I'm sure you all read it, took the time, right? Printed it up, you have it on your fridge. But I did want to just go over it. I think they're just some very simple rules that just keep our space safe, and our workouts, healthy and safe for everybody. So show up on time to workouts. All of them start at 7 a.m. Make sure you show up so you don't get there and you miss the warm up and you have to go flying out trying to find your pace leader. So show up on time. Just a reminder that bandits are not permitted at LARR or on race day. Bandits are people who participate in programs but don't pay for them, or don't participate or don't pay for races. It's dangerous because if you are not in our system and something happens, we don't know, we don't have your emergency contact information. And it's also, it's just, that's how we keep going. It's how we survive as an organization, is through race fees and LARR registration. Just a reminder not to litter. These are pretty simple. Stay on designated trails. There are several sidewalks and paths that we share with the public. So just make sure that if you're running, just be careful not to bunch up as a big, thick group. Try to make sure that other people who are out running have plenty of room, and keep our meeting areas tidy. You know, abusive language, yelling, taunting, threatening physical violence, any of that upon, members, staff, volunteers, or the public is just not tolerated, nor will vulgar language, racial, ethnic, or gender-related slurs or derogatory comments. If you are feeling like somebody is treating you in a way that is disrespectful or is violating this code, please let your PACE leader or David or me know right away. Be mindful that some people are uncomfortable with physical contact. We tend to be runners, we tend to be huggers and high fivers, and we love, we get excited, we're adrenalized after a run. Just be aware that sometimes people aren't comfortable with that. And you may not be comfortable with that. And if you're not comfortable getting a hug or a high five, you don't need to take it. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm sweaty, or you're sweaty, and ew, you know what, let's just fist bump. We're good. It's okay. You never have to, I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. Please don't come to trainings impaired by alcohol or recreational drugs. It puts you and the rest of our members at danger. And in case of an emergency, please let your PACE leader or Coach David know right away. But if necessary, call 911. Don't wait for David. Don't wait for your PACE leader. If you see an emergency happening, call 911. That is the fastest way to get the help that you need. And any concerns, any violations, please reach out to David or reach out to me. We are there to help you and to, just work through a situation. It doesn't mean that, that we need to immediately kick somebody out or something. We just sometimes just need to know and talk to people. But we do take things seriously. We do take these issues seriously. So please feel free to always reach out. And speaking of that, how to get in touch with us. David has his direct email, David L. Make sure it's got an L, otherwise it will not get to him. David L. for Levine at mccourtfoundation.org. You can reach out to him with any issues or concerns about workouts, any training or coaching questions, anything about the online chats. Maybe you're like, hey, could you send me that link? That was awesome. That was a great talk. If you want to reach out to me, you can do it through LARR at mccourtfoundation.org. That way you don't have to spell my name wrong, because I am Lucie. Again, any issues or concerns, LARR specific questions. So my registration, I'm not sure if I'm registered. I didn't get my shirt. It's the wrong size. Anything that, I'm not getting the newsletter, or I see something's confusing on the website. That's me. As I said, your PACE leader is somebody to reach out to specifically about your PACE group, anything about race day. And they're really a good resource for anything sort of nuts and bolts everyday stuff. That's really the first person you can go to. And then if you have questions about your LA Marathon registration or any other of our race registrations, that's Solutions. So if you email me, I'm going to send it to Solutions. So you can just go straight there, solutions@mccourtfoundation.org. Any questions about your race, the broader race registrations and information there. That is who to contact. That is the LARR in a nutshell, a very, very big, long nutshell, but that's it.